going on, guys? Snag here, and it's time to wrap up round 8 of the 2024 NRL season, and what an awesome weekend it was. I love the Anzac round, so much fun, and it's funny, these first few games here, actually, it feels like it was last weekend. It was crazy. It felt like a really long weekend because a lot of the games were at the start, but yeah, crazy weekend of footy, guys. So let's go through all these. Let me know how many you hit this week. Did you go 5 from 8? Did you go 7 from 8? Let me know if you hit 8 from 8 as well. And yeah, man, it's we're starting to get a hang of this. We actually had a pretty good weekend on the punt as well, guys. So I was pretty happy. We hit a lot. The things that missed, sort of just missed, or for example, the Dolphins game was, the way I thought it was going to play out, it did, but just didn't quite get the points we needed and stuff like that. So starting to hit a little bit of form there as well, hitting heaps of double ups too. So if you do want to follow me on Dabble or what's the other one? Sportsbet. It is just MonsterSnag, guys. I'll put it up on the screen there. Make sure you shoot us a follow there and shoot us a sub on here as well, guys. We're nearly at 5K, lads. Help us get to 5K. All right. So Warriors get held off at home against the Titans. Titans get their first win of the year. Roosters hump the Dragons. Storm hump the Rabbitohs. What do we got here? We got bloody 100 points between Roosters and well over 100 points. Roosters and the Storm. Sea Eagles get it done against Parramatta. Broncos get it. It was actually a pretty nice victory against the West Tigers. Panthers hold on against the Cowboys. Knights hold on against the Dolphins. And Sharkies hump the Raiders. What a hiding. So how many did we get? I wanted 7 from 8 this round. I think we got 6. So I had Warriors, so nothing. We had Roosters. We had Storm. We had Sea Eagles. We had Broncos. We had Penrith. We had Dolphins here, and we did have Sharks. So 6 from 8, not too bad, guys. Not too bad. Right, let's have a look at the ladder. But first, it's going to be a big night. I need some energy. That's the good stuff. Sharkies out on top with a 100-point differential. Almost double the Storm. That is insane. Absolutely insane, guys. Panthers sneak up into 3. Sea Eagles up into 4th, Broncos up into 5th, Dolphins slide a little bit, but still in the top 8, Roosters up, and look at that, up the Doggies. Doggies in the top 8. Cowboys, Raiders, Dragons, Warriors all slip, Knights come up, Eels stay the same, Tigers down, and the poor old Rabbitohs sitting on the bottom of the ladder. Oh my God. Now I just had a look at this top 8 before. Let me know what you think about this one as well. Now, other than maybe the Doggies, I think the Warriors could have a very good chance of coming up here. Let's just say the Warriors are here. I think there's a pretty damn good chance that could be our 8. Not in that order. But just like, I'm loving what the Sharkies are doing. I'm loving what the Storm are doing. Penrith are Penrith. Sea Eagles just need to sort out their D a little bit, and they're going to win a lot of rugby league games this year. Broncos are the real deal. Dolphins have a lot out and are still playing great footy. When they get their superstars back, they're going to be a real deal. Roosters look like they've found something. Doggies are strong, but I think they may slip out. So, to me, these 7 teams look good. You know what I mean? And, when I look at the teams below, Patchy missing their halfback, Patchy, almost done. You get what I'm saying? It's very patchy from the teams 9 down sort of thing. And the Warriors, I feel like they're not too far off. They've just got a few things to tinker with as well, which we'll get to right now. Let's go. Warriors versus the Titans. All right, tries to Nicoll-Klokstad, AFB, Rocco Berry, AJ Brimson, Tanner Boyd, Dave Fifita, Khan-Pereira, AJ Brimson again. Look, we said it from before the season. I've been saying this since last year. I mean, it was pretty funny. Someone said in my comments on TikTok, would they say, oh, well, they win a game and now you're jumping on the AJ should have been fullback the whole time. Nah, bros, you've all been watching. I've been saying I love Campbell, but I think AJ's been the best fullback. Sometimes you have 2 really good people in a key position, but one's better than the other, and you're sort of in this predicament, and coaches like to try and find a way to fit both in, and they just end up damaging the team, and they did. They really have. So, yeah, look, the Titans for me right now look like they've morphed back into the Titans of last year. Just looking at their last 3 games, very high scoring from both teams. They're leaking points, scoring points. Sometimes they're going to... To me, it's just like the Titans last year and this year. Well, the last 3 games of this year anyway. Pretty much the Titans are going to score points. the other team's going to score points, and whoever's ahead at 80 minutes wins. I know that sounds stupid because that's how a game of football goes, but you get what I'm saying. It's just like if they happen to be ahead when there's 80 minutes, if it kept going and they're behind, they probably would overtake it. It just seems to go like this. They're just all over the joint. But like heaps better. I mean, like I said, I wasn't really knocking the Titans last year. I was really surprised they got rid of their coach. I didn't really agree with Desi coming in. I thought he was doing a pretty good job. It just needed to be tinkered with a little bit. And yeah, now it looks like Desi's got them playing like they did before they fired their coach and put Desi there. Go figure, sort of thing. So, a little bit strange. But look, with Brimo there, they've got quality on this team. They can score points. They've got speed on the edges. Brimo's the ultimate competitor. They've still got even without Tino, pretty damn solid forward pack. So they're going to ruffle some feathers here and there. But I just see a lot of this. High 20s, early 30s. But the game's 1-12 either way. I just see a lot of that from the Titans this year. I've been saying this for about 3 weeks now. If you've been following me, listen to my videos. Really, really good rugby league team. But I just don't like the way they're playing. They've been doing this a lot this year. Starting well, look at this. It's 2 tries in the first 8 minutes, and you're sitting there going, oh. And then they just really not go into their shell. They just go very Penrith, like taking the highest possible percentage play, grind away. But the problem is, like, I mean, Penrith had a lot of penalties this weekend, but not quite as disciplined as Penrith, because this is what Penrith do, obviously. Kick you to death, just field position you to death, back 5 do their thing. You eventually crumble, and then they score points off the back of their defence. Warriors, for me, their line speed's good, but it's not quite as good. They're not quite as disciplined, so they do give penalties. They were giving a lot of leg-up penalties to Titans when they did have them pinned. I mean, what's the point in playing the high percentage play on the 5th? If you're going to give a penalty on the 3rd anyway, and then they just get to kick their way out of trouble. Doesn't really make sense. You have to be highly disciplined in that. And I think there's been 3 or 4 games here that they could have won by 20 if they just went, let's let it rip sort of thing. Like I said, I've said this in my last few videos, but I'll say it again just in case this is your first time watching. Like Broncos, Penrith and Warriors, very similar, very big, strong athletic edges, good, hard-working forward packs, young, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Broncos are highly, chance their arm too much, I almost think, but it works, so whatever. Penrith don't, but it's clearly worked as well. I feel like Warriors are... I feel like the Warriors are trying to play a little bit too Penrith, a little bit too play the high percentage stuff. I think they need to just bring it right up into the middle there, let the pass rip a little bit more, bomb, just look for touch, but just mix it, just look to attack a little bit more than they currently are, because they've had plenty of games where they should have won by plenty, and instead they just win or get a game snatched off them. Because they haven't been here. Now, this game here, it was sort of like Warriors played really good in the first 10-20. So, unfortunately, they've been run down a couple times right at the end of the game. Now, Titans got back into this game quite early and got ahead, I believe, by the 36th minute. And the scoreboard forced Warriors to play a bit of footy again. They looked great again. You know what I mean? They looked really good. They look great when they play some footy. I'm not saying rip the ball like Reece Walsh does every 2 seconds, like every time, try and score a try off every play. But like there was about 5 or 6 kicks in a row when they were up, and just kick into a corner, no kick, not high enough to contest, not just looking to pin, great, but it didn't work. And then, I mean, it did work, but it's just then they give a penalty, blah blah blah. Another team gets in the game. Look, this is the thing too, right? And as we'll see through this whole thing, it's very hard to wrestle back momentum. When you've got it, you have to attack, man. Like, you have to go. You might not get the ball. You might not get the ball back in good field position for 15 minutes. It can happen. It's not sort of like it had been in the past where you'd get the ball back and a team might have a good 5 minutes on you. You can genuinely not have the ball in good field possession again. I mean, look at Penrith. The Penrith Cowboys game, Penrith they completed 5 sets in, I think, it was almost 20 minutes. and they did not have a play the ball inside their opposition 40 for 20 minutes. So you got to be careful. If you've got opportunities, you got to take them, you know, or at least, you know what I mean, like whatever. Just take them a little bit riskier. Let's have a look at some team stats. I mean, Titans play good. Look at that completion rate from the Titans. That's absolutely brilliant. But look, you know, only 2 sets less completed, but they had the ball for longer periods of time. They definitely won through the middle. AFB was incredible. Kick meters great. 5 line breaks to 7. Tackle breaks 35 to 43. That's incredible. Yeah, they were rolling there for a while. What else we got here, guys? Receipts, total passes, tackle effectiveness 85 to 87. So 43 missed tackles. That's getting up there. 35 will do it, but 43 is getting up there. Negative plays 9 to 3. Penalties 5 to 3. Yeah, it wasn't bad from it. Warriors haven't played bad once this year. That's a cool thing about the Warriors, and why I saw so many people getting mad at them. I saw a Warriors guy burn his jersey on TikTok. I'm like, bro, you haven't played a bad game this year. You've just let a few slip. Like Warriors are probably one team who haven't had a bad, or Sharks. Oh, I think Sharks have had a bad game actually, but Warriors, even in their losses, have not been bad. So. Yeah, just little things to work on and tinker with. That's why when I was talking about the ladder, I'm not overly worried about them. It's just a little bit of a tinker thing. You know, Webster, he knows his stuff, so I'm sure he'll work it out, sort of thing. And let's have a look at some player stats quickly, guys. I thought AJ Brimson was absolutely glorious. 186 metres, 61 post contact, 2 line breaks, 5 tackle breaks. Jojo Fifita was pretty nice, actually. I thought Chris Randall was pretty nice. Line break assist, try assist. Who was this? Brian Kelly. 2 line break assists, 1 try assist, 3 tackle breaks. Cleese Haas looks like he's coming into his own a bit as well. He looks good, man. He looks real good. Let's see how many metres Nicoll-Klokstad ran for. There you go, 289. Damn, 94 post contact, 1 line break assist, 4 tackle breaks. Roger Tuivasa looked sharp, man. He looked real sharp. 182 metres, 77 post contact, 1 line break. Where is he? And 8 tackle breaks. Now, I really like Tamari Martin. I just don't think he's a 6. Yeah, we'll see how he goes. It's only his second game there. He barely played anything last year, so we'll have to wait and see. But definitely not his best game. It just doesn't look like it. He can play 6. He just doesn't look like a natural 6. You know, it's one of those positions. Oh, he's a 6. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes they try and make hybrids like Schuster, and they're like, oh, he's so big. He's going. Nah, bro. There's that Freddie Fittler mold, just big body, not huge, just big body. Good runner, can hold his own in defense, can bust a tackle of a forward, can tackle a forward. You know, they're your 6s you want. And he's just not quite there. To me, he's a real nice fullback, maybe winger, centre, whatever. But I don't think 6 is his best position. But we'll have to wait and see how long Metcalf's out for. We'll have a quick look, actually. Where's Metcalf? How far away is he from coming back? Freddie Lussick. Hamstring. They got a few out, eh? Round 14 for Nakora? Damn. Oh, to be confirmed. Kurt Capewell out indefinitely? What? Jesus Christ. Wow, this is a little scary for the Warriors. So this is the team they field is pretty much who they're fielding for the next 3 to 4 rounds. They don't get anyone. They get Lussick back, who they barely use anyway, in round 10. Then Tavita Harris is round 11. Tavanga's round 11. Bunty's round 13. Nakora, it's a little scary. That's a little scary. Who else? I thought Barnett was good. Egan was good. The thing that worries me a little bit about Egan just goes down every game. Dylan Walker, definitely not his best game, but you know, first game back in a minute, sort of thing. So, and yeah, I thought Titans bench was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Oh, onto the Anzac Day, absolute hiding. All right, Sua'ali'i got knocked out first play. That did not help at all. Look at this, 10 tries. 10 tries. Dom Young, Angus Crichton, Joey Manu, Sam Walker, Nat Butcher, Keary, Manu, Tedesco, Butcher, Sua'ali'i, and 10 from 10 from Walker with the boot. Wow. All right, I said this on my TikTok video, lads. what I loved about this game was, what did we say last week in last week's post one? Teddy's doing too much. Too many chefs spoil the broth. He's getting involved too much. He needs to take a little step back. There's only so many carries in a game. If Teddy's taking 30 of them, it's guys like Manu, Sua'ali'i, Dom Young, Tupou when he's there are missing out on carries. We'll talk about Walker in a sec, but just his stats ended up being good. This is the thing: if your team's rolling, your stat sheet will fill up anyway. You're still going to get hectic stats. So he still ended up 16 runs, perfect. Like I said, if Teddy's taken 30 runs, that's so many runs that. How many times have we seen Joey Manu, Sua'ali'i, Dom Young only have sub 10 runs? Now all of a sudden, 16, that's perfect. That's still busy. 16 runs is busy still. But Sua'ali'i got 14, Joey Manu got 14, and Dom Young got 14, who I personally think are all a little bit more dangerous than Teddy is with the ball in hand, just one-on-one, just tearing around. Like, I just genuinely do. And Dom Young, 222 metres, 50 post-contact, 3 line breaks. That is insane. So I love what Teddy did in here. And like I said, I said in my TikTok video, I think Teddy on Tuesday had a look at Team List Tuesday and went, oh, our back five is stacked. Maybe I'll let them take some runs. And it was perfect. Like, I've never been one of these Teddy haters. I'm not. But he does do too much. He gets too busy. He gets in the way. His ball playing's not elite enough. He's not that much of a tackle buster that he needs to do all that. And we see sometimes Teddy make errors out of fatigue. Like, he's just trying to do too much, spills the ball or whatever. So this is perfect. If they might have found it here, the Roosters. They might have found it. I've been waiting for this game for a year and a half, or year and 8 rounds, where they just, everything balanced out perfectly. And then the other thing was Sam Walker went and got his hands on the ball and he got down and dirty. And look, Keary, I love Keary, but this is Sam Walker's team. He stepped in. He was elite. He just ran the ball. His short kicking game was perfect. 1 line break assist, 2 try assists. Kicking game 10 out of 10. Beautiful. They've got the forward pack now. Brandon Smith looks sharp when he's got this back 5 taking really nice, good, strong carries. Roosters might have turned a corner, and they play the Brisbane Broncos next week. I am frothing that game. And I pray, not that I want the Roosters to win or anything, but I'm praying that Teddy and Sam Walker and all that do that same formula, mix up that same formula they mixed up in this game. And just back 5 powering through, Teddy taking a little step back, especially when they're in the attacking half. Just go to work and let Sam Walker do his thing, because it was nice. That was nice. It was pretty damn close to a perfect performance. I leaked 18 points, but whatever, it happens. We're playing rugby league here. Matt, really, really nice performance. And I just hope, not that I don't care, Roosters could come last for all I care, they could win the premiership for all I care, but I just love high quality footy. So I pray that they do tape this and just go, oh, that is perfect. And so it's Robbo or whoever gets into, tells Tedesco, don't overdo it, back your team. And I hope that, Keary and Walker have these conversations where Sam Walker, he is the number one. He does, if he wants the ball, he overrides everyone else. Give it to me. Love it. Love it. I love his unstructuredness. I love his instinctual play. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Dragons, not great. Look, they were just not really in this. I mean, sometimes it's just not your night. I mean, Sully got KO'd first to hit up. And then their left edge was gone after that. And then about 20 minutes in, they completely lost the ruck. They absolutely lost control of the ruck real quick. I mean, it doesn't really show here, but Roosters were playing the ball substantially faster. Another thing as well I just wrote. Now, I love Victor Radley in this game. I love Victor Radley as a player, but I feel like he does try and ball play too much. Connor Watson, way worse player. Victor's better player. Like, Victor's a better lock. He's one of the best locks in the world. But he didn't try and ball play. He just ran. He just ran in behind the ruck. You just very... Like, I personally think Victor should play like Paddy Carrigan. I think he's almost tries to be too much of a ball playing like Isaiah or Cam Murray or whatever. I just want Victor running in behind the ruck, getting quick play of the balls. Like, he doesn't need to be that link man, in my opinion. You don't... I mean, Isaiah Yo's been the benchmark for such a long time. I think every lock sort of tried to copy him a little bit. I think, like, to me, like, Victor was substantially better than Pat Carrigan 3 years ago. And that's completely flipped now. Like, Carrigan is substantially better than Victor now. And I think Victor can come back up to his level because his defense and line speed play the ball so fast as well. But, yeah, just... I'd just forget the ball playing, unless, you know, you're called to play where you do have to shift it, or there is a shift on. But if there's no shift on, just run in behind the ruck. You're fast, you're strong, play the ball quickly. So yeah, excited for that. So hopefully Roosters can maintain this because they look nice. It's good when the Roosters are in the finals and playing good footy. I like it. All right, let's go. This game was crazy. All right. Oh, I wanted to look those stats up before I did this video. I just sort of just wrote in my notes. This is the first time in a while since Pappy went down, shattered his kneecap. Not last year, the year before. What was the year before that even? Melbourne looked like that team again. Were they the best team in the comp? No. Did they have flaws? Yeah. But their spine was so hectic that they were lighting teams up. Like, Melbourne Storm, I always knew before the Pappy and Harry Grant sort of era was the most like, honestly, man, in mid 2010s, 2012 to 2016, I stopped watching rugby league when they were super hyper dominant, 2017 or whatever. It was so boring. And the bad thing, this is what happened with the whole league. Because it was so effective, the way they played with Cam Smith, and it was so boring. Like, how can a team with Billy Slater be boring? But anyway, every team copied, and the league sucked. Everyone wrestled like crazy. Everyone slowed it. Everyone played for penalties. The game was slowed down to the point where I'm like, I cannot watch this. Like, the amount of times in that period where, because I still loved rugby league, I'd come in and go... I'd be like, yeah, man, Friday night footy, yeah, like Broncos versus Melbourne Storm. I'd sit there about 8 minutes in and go on the casino, fuck, this is trash. I cannot watch this. That is just absolute garbage. Like 8 minutes in, I got 8 penalties, just slow wrestle, just everyone. Yeah, it was just so annoying, man. I could not stand it. But then... I can't remember when they sort of that sort of ended, and Pappy, Harry Grant, like constantly looking to score. They became really exciting, and they were. I can't remember what year it was, but I'm pretty sure they broke the record for most points scored in a year. Like, they were just absolutely flying, and yeah, it was nuts, man. I can't remember what years. I'm getting my years muddled up a little bit, but they look like that again. They look like they want to score all the time. Pappy. Everyone's been sort of jerking Pappy off, saying how great he's been. I don't think I just have vivid memory. I remember how good he was, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, I don't think he's as good as he was. I think he's lost a step. He looked that dude again last night for me. On Thursday night for me. He looked really good. He looked really, really nice. I genuinely think they're a threat. Everyone's writing them off. I mean, they did this with no Tui, so Tui comes back into this team. When's he due back? Oh, Nelson did his hamstring. Round 10, they get Tui back. So some big boppers. But once these two guys are fit and healthy and they actually get a bit of middle ascendancy, I think they could do some serious damage. Like I said, to me, they're only missing, like Bolle and Katorabin. They're two of the best. They're going to be two of the best second rows in the game. The way Craig Bellamy develops forwards, you watch, man. You watch these two dudes develop. It's going to be nuts. And even maybe Trent Loiero, I don't know. But I feel like they're missing a genuine link 13. There's only so many in the comp. But like, if they did have a Victor Radley, if they did have a Pat Carrigan, if they did have an Isaiah Yo, I think that's their one sort of weak link. But they're good. I think they're good. I think everyone's sort of written them off because they've just sort of been making finals and getting bounced out of the finals since they won it. And even though they're there or thereabouts, they're not really a threat. I think this might be a little different this year. I was not worried about Storm winning the comp last year. The year before, I was not even worried about them at all winning the comp. This year, I'll give them a real good chance. A few things have to go their way, have to stay healthy, all that. Jerome Hughes has to stay healthy. But I'll give them a shot. Bunnies just slow, zero kick pressure. The amount of times Jerome Hughes just sort of caught the ball, ran 5 or 6 metres and just kicked the ball on a pin because he had no kick pressure was nuts. Their outside backs, you could tell they were frustrated. It was just not good. I mean, not good at all. Like they're not. It wasn't horrible. Like I haven't looked at these stats yet, but I'm assuming they're not horrendous. But we'll have a look. I mean, the scoreline is, but completion rate the same. I mean, that's not a hiding in the meters run. 9 line breaks 5. That's pretty bad. 42 tackle breaks 17. I mean, yeah, they just don't look strong and athletic out wide. That's a really slow play, the ball. They got dominated in the ruck there. What have they got? Missed tackle 17. That's so low to 42. Wow, that's nuts. 11 errors. That was probably Melbourne's downfall a little bit. Not downfall, but 4 penalties conceded to 7. So, yeah, absolutely bananas. Let's have a look at some of Melbourne's stats. Melbourne's players' stats. Pappy, 108 running metres. Felt like he ran more. 2 line breaks, 2 tackle breaks. Will Warbrick looks a bit better. Like, he'd been down, man. I thought he was going to... I think maybe we think he's down because Xavier Coates has been, like, God mode. Like, he's been top 3 winger for this comp, and if you want to say he's been the best, I won't argue with you. I'd probably have Lomax above him, but he's moved to centre now by the looks of it. But Nelson just was uncontainable when he was on. Like, Pappy needs to just run off him when he's on for sure. He's probably the most destructive player in the comp, man. Nelson, the way he just goes bang bang, and he just always gets his arm free. Like him and Payne doesn't cause the... Payne probably gets more post-contact, plays for more metres, makes less errors, doesn't miss tackles, so, happily call him better. But Nelson definitely causes more carnage in his carries. He goes bang, bang. There was one where he just went boom, left, bounced that dude, and there was someone on his hip, and he just looked around with his arm. Oh, there's no one there. I'll take my front so I can just get a quick play of the ball. Landed on his front, stood up and played the ball with the dude hanging off him. I'm just like, oh, bro. That is unfair. That's like that Islander kid who you like in under 13s where you're like, can we check that dude's birth certificate? But they're grown-ass men. So, yeah, he's a freak, man. I'll have a look at the Bunnies real quick. But like I said, guys, if you're new to watching my channels, I love talking good footy. I don't talk about bad reffing. I don't really talk about teams that are going poorly. I'll obviously gloss over a little bit and maybe talk about some positives here and there, but I don't like to kick teams while they're down. That's just cheap shots. I hate how much the Australian media covers bad teams. I'm like, just leave them alone. Let them go away and get better. Let's talk about the good teams. Kills me, bros. Who was good? Cody Walker looks slow. Cody Walker's given me, I'm not saying he is washed vibes. He looks a little washed to me, man. Kolomatangi looks overweight, a bit slow. Just good to see Jai Arrow back. Yeah, just slow. Just slow. Not a fast team. Speed kills, man. Speed kills. It really does. It was funny, I was chatting to my son. He's in under 14, so he's 13, and they lost last week. He's like, man, they're the best, that team. And my son's real handy. And he goes, man, they're the best team. Because they were playing the best team in the comp. And he goes, I'm like, son, they're not that good. You're better than everyone on their team. They're just faster than you. They were just faster. You know what I mean? Like, speed kills. Like, sometimes you think someone's got this crazy whatever, and they're just faster than you. You know, if they can get outside you, you're done. If in attack, if they can get outside you, you're done because you're too slow to catch up. And if you do get outside them and they're on defense, they're too fast. They'll cut you off. And we'll get to the Broncos in a minute where I want to give them a big rap for that. Sea Eagles vs Eels. I've written in my notes, never bet on the Eels again. I actually didn't bet on the Eels, but they just kill multis, man. They got this real knack for making teams play a different way. Anyway, super physical. I loved this game. Para ahead at the half, and it was funny. My TikTok started lighting up with Parramatta fans, and I'm not burning yous, but they were like, told yous. And I'm like, bros, shut up. Did you not watch the Dolphins game last weekend? Shut up. And yeah, look what happened. Yeah, that was ugly. Look, it actually, I was watching, not 360, what's the show they do after, like on the post show on Fox or whatever, and they were acting like Parramatta's on the spoon and they're done and they're not going to win another game this year. Look, guys, it was 5 tries to 4 and 0 from 4 conversions. I mean, this actually could have been a closer game so these 3 tries here where they scored, if 3 of those were converted, it would have been 18-6. That would have put a little bit of scoreboard pressure on Manly. And I think it could have been a slightly different game. I had Manly to win. I'm not saying Parramatta would have won or anything, but the boot, it felt like everyone was talking a bit like the game looked over, and I was sitting there going, Parramatta are up, like in the try department. They're only down because of goal kicking. They're actually still in this. But then Sevo was just an idiot, and Sevo was just an idiot, stupid play sort of thing. But anyway, like Parramatta are not good. Like they're not good, but I don't think they're as bad as everyone says. Like to me, if Parramatta just found a way to win this game, they would have been 4-4. They got a bye next week. I think they play Melbourne. And then I think Mitch Moses sort of comes back the week after that because apparently he's ahead of schedule. It's not that bad. They're not going to have a ton of players away for State of Origin. I was sitting there going, you know what? Parramatta could sort of end up shocking a few people here if they can get this one. I was sitting there at half-time because I was looking at all the stats and I'm going, you know what? If Parramatta go on and win this, they're 4-4, have a bye. They do have a tough game the week after, but whatever. You lose some, you win some. And then if Moses does come back in that round 10 or round 11... and then they keep... I don't see anyone playing Origin here. I don't think anyone's playing good enough to play Origin. They could jag a few wins in the middle of Origin here. I think they could be right back in the hunt there. But, yeah, they lost, unfortunately. But, yeah, look... Manly could be the real deal, man. Like, Manly... I just want to talk about Kohler for a second. I've been watching him... so I've been studying... gridiron, footwork, speed training, because I love that. And I would get my son doing it, because we're talking about speed. I was just talking about speed. I was like, they're just faster than you. And I was like, man, we'll start doing some mad gridiron footwork and speed and angle changing and all that sort of stuff. So I've been watching all these like hectic, like the best running backs, footwork drills and all this stuff. So I've been watching that all week. This weekend, because I've been watching all that, I watched everyone's footwork this weekend. Bro, Kohler's footwork is hectic. Like, it's actually very NFL. So is Valentine Holmes, but he tried to make the NFL, so I'm not surprised. Everything's within your hips. Brr, bang, brr, bang. Like, it's like a little stutter step, bang, but stutter, bang. And it's... I was like, oh my God. Like, you can tell he's been genuinely sprint trained. His weight's so perfect up over his hips. And when we saw it a few times, and the way he can move and keep his weight above his hips. Because you see a lot of footy players there, they burst through the line and they're all off balance and they're bursting through. And like, where he was like, bang, he'd get contact and bang, and it would go straight, brr, bah, brr, bah. It's, I was like, oh damn. This dude, I think this dude could be him, man. Like, I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I was just... Bro, those NFL guys are on another level when it comes to footwork and speed drills and stuff like that. It actually blew my mind. I'm like, bro, this is insane. I ain't never seen a human move like that, man. But yeah, it's beautiful. But they got everything. They got the gun out the back, speed on the edges, great goal kicker, solid wing, like Batman, Robin. Paseka's just coming in his best second stint in the game, in my opinion. LIA looks great. Just get rid of the dumb penalties. Ola Kawatu, my only criticism of him, he can go missing a little bit. But he was great. I actually think Waddell's been good. Tom Travojevic has given you 8 out of 10 every game. Matt Lodge has been good. Nathan Brown comes off the back fence, brings all that extra energy. Like, they're a team. they're just... Let's have a look at their team stats. Now, this has already gone down, so we can't... They're just leaking a few too many points. You know what I'm saying? Like, even this game, so Parramatta were 0 from 4. Let's say they kicked 3, so 75%. It would have been 24-32. That's a bit unacceptable. You're like, man, you leaked 24. But 32-18 doesn't look that bad, but they've been leaking a lot of points and still winning. If they can just tighten that up a little bit, I think they're going to be pretty damn scary. Let's have a look at some team stats here, guys. Turbo, 15 runs, perfect. 156 metres, 1 line break, 2 line breakers, perfect. Turbo for me as well is a little bit like, I want him taken similar to Teddy, what we spoke about a little earlier. You don't have to do too much, bro. Like, chill out. Like, you got a really good team there. But for a little bit of a different reason. I think the more Turbo gets involved, the better Manly are, sort of thing. But I don't want him to get injured. I want Turbo to be healthy. And why take... Every time you take a carry, let's be real. Like, there's a chance you're going to get injured. Every carry. So why put him in Why put Turbo in 30 collisions when you can put him in 15 and still win the game? That's my theory behind Turbo doing a little bit less work. There was a few games at the start of the year. He was taking two carries every set. I'm like, oh, chill out, Tom. Just 1 carry's fine. Kick return. Do your thing. Let the other boys get involved. You know, you got plenty of stock there. So that's a little bit of a different reason. I want Turbo taking sub 16 carries or sub 18 carries, just because, yeah, he's a Ferrari. You wouldn't put a Ferrari in a crash derby, would you? You know, sort of thing. I mean, Saab can get your meters. Garrett can get your meters. Talau, he didn't have a big game, but he can get your meters from your back 5. So yeah, great. They're scary. You watch, like, mark my words. Sea Eagles are going to put a lot, I dare say, put a lot of teams to the sword this year. I think, I'm just guessing, I think they could probably end up with the most 40, maybe 50-point victories this year. I could see them destroying a few teams this year, eh? But then I could see them destroying a team and then maybe playing a Broncos and losing. You know what I mean? I think they can destroy teams a little better than some teams. They're just built for it. They're built to really put you to the sword and score points quick. Parramatta, like I said, not going great. I saw a lot of doom and gloom about them. I'm not writing them off. I'm close, but like I said, Mitch Moses comes back. I thought Easton Sanders was good. It's just there's all this stuff about, oh, their forwards aren't this, their forwards aren't that, they're blah 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 blah. I don't see much wrong with what they're doing. Like, it's just not quite good enough. I don't know. Like, it's just like I heard them sort of critiquing it down to a T. I'm looking at what they're doing. I'm like, they're getting a marker. They're getting this. There was one where Sean Lane slacked off for a second. Okay, bad read. You know, I think everyone made a little error here and there, but I didn't think they were horrible. They just look like not a top 8 team. I don't know. And the kicking game is so important. So we'll see how they go when Mitchy Moses comes back. Like I said, they could make a little run around Origin time because I don't think anyone's been playing good enough to play Origin. Like Hopgood got called into the Queensland team last year, but I love him, but he's not playing good enough to play in that Queensland team. Like, not even close. So I don't think Billy will select him. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, not good enough from the Eels. Not good enough. West Tigers, Broncos. Man, I was really excited for this one because for New South Wales, everyone's talking about Stefano possibly getting a jersey. I was really keen to see how Payne Haas looked, how they would match up. I don't think Stefano's ready for Origin. I don't. I love him. He's a gun. He's really, really good. I don't see him bending the line. He's one of those guys, like, he'll beat you one-on-one, he'll bump you, he'll do this, do that. But when you get 3 into him, he's getting put on his back. And he's getting to slow play the ball. He's not... It's like we've seen Payne destroy club teams in Origin. Like, I couldn't believe bloke in the boat, like, yeah, he's dominated. When's Payne dominated in Origin? Like, he hasn't dominated in Origin. He's had a couple of okay games, but There's never been a single State of Origin game where Payne Haas was the best forward on the park. No, not one. Not one. So, yeah, I don't think he's been the best forward in the New South Wales team. But definitely not in over a game, like if you count both teams. But yeah, so yeah, just coming up against a very good forward pack. It's not a State of Origin level forward pack, but there's 2 State of Origin players in there. A couple solid players. Just didn't do any. He had 0 impact for me. He just did it. Stefano was very good, but not State of Origin quality for me. He just looks like he's lost a few kegs. Looks a little light upstairs, and just a little tall, eh? I'm not feeling the tall. Unless you're built like Payne, I don't like tall props. Too much target area. I used to love hitting tall dudes. I used to hate those 5'10" nuggets. They just hit. You can't hit them anywhere. You're like, your shoulders here, your hips here. I've got this much room. Up here, I'm getting knocked out. Down here, I'm getting knocked out. Hope for the best. With taller dudes, I've got this much. I've got this much room to hit you. Oh, you're done. I'm gonna smack you. Lad. All right, let's jerk off some of these Broncos players. Reece Walsh. Rubbish start and just absolutely slaughtered it. Look, I was saying this about the Broncos. I mean, this is actually pretty horrendous, but this is just like we talked about the Panthers before. Like, Broncos are just going to complete in these 70%. That's very low, 68%. But they're going to pump you 13 plus anyway because they're so good at boom, boom, bop, 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 that they're gonna score. So they're good, and they're good enough defensively. That's the other thing I wanted to chat about actually. They're good enough defensively that they defend their errors so well. So like, stupid error, all right, whatever. Defend really well, get the ball back, go to work. You know what I mean? And then they score again within the next few sets or whatever. Just too good. Now, just one thing on Broncos defense, which I'm loving. They're actually not the best defensive team. Where's the missed tackles? Actually, it's pretty good. 32 is pretty good. But what they do is, and I hope you can see me here. So say they're defending this way, and there's, the half, digs into the line and then throws the cutout, or the whoever's winger commits and jams in, which then makes that dude throw that outside thing. But then their centre, second row, whoever it is, swing out like perfectly. So winger jams in, other two come out, and they jam, and it looks like there's space out on an edge, and there's nothing there because they're so in sync. The space disappears. So whoever it is, so and so jams in. The ball goes past that because they've taken that player. They've essentially taken that player out of position, out of contention to getting the ball. Ball goes outside. Second rower and centre swing around, boom, take them out. It's actually there, and that's what I'm saying. I don't actually think they're incredibly good defenders, but because they're fast, they can pull that off so good. Half the time they're getting two blokes out to the winger well before the try line. It doesn't look close. It's not close. Like, you're like, that wasn't close to a try. Wow. Like, they're really good at it. To be honest, I think it's the best of. I didn't think they were that good at it last year. They've been doing it a lot this year. I think it might be the best I've ever seen. Like, it is. They're really good at it. They're really good at it. I was actually, I was impressed. Like, they're going to be hard to tear apart on edges. They're going to be really hard to tear apart. You're going to have to think of a different way, because just digging into the line as a half, because that's what so many teams do, and it's just teams aren't good at covering it, but it's so predictable. Dig in, make the defence make a decision, and then whatever the decision is, the half does the opposite. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much it's pretty easy. If they slide, go short. If they jam, you go over. It's pretty easy. Like, it's a simple game. Like, people try and make it sound really complicated, but it's simply that. Engage line, make them make a decision, do the opposite. You know, it's pretty simple, but yeah, they're just really good at covering it. So yeah, shout out to the Broncos. Look, let's go through. So yeah, Reece, Corey Oates, a little bit of a mixed bag. Stags, 9 out of 10. I like Jesse Arthur's on the wing better, but he is bloody good centre, eh? He is tough, man. And he's, like I said, he would have been the one swinging around and making those cover tackles. Solid as, man. Mariner, terrible. I was actually sitting there going, oh, don't tell me Mariner has a terrible set of hands. Broncos have this knack of having these gun players with bad sets of hands. Corey Oates, I mean, you know, he's been awful for years, and Reece Walsh has pretty bad. Even Selwyn Cobbo, terrible under the high ball. I'm just sitting there going, bro, it's like, he looked dicey. Or maybe it was just a bad game because I hadn't really noticed his hands being bad, but he made a few errors, but not only that, he fumbled the ball and caught it about 3 times as well. I was just like, holy, they better not. Jesus Christ, man. Absolutely nuts. I thought Jock Madden was good. He scored a couple tries. I'll tell you what, Corey Jensen's become a pretty handy little player. Yes, again. Xavier Wilson, I was like, he got handled, eh? Like, I know he actually had a pretty good game, but someone handled him really easy, and I was like, oh, I think he's still got his boy strength. Still got his boy strength a little bit. Doesn't quite have his man strength yet. It was someone small. It was Bateman or something. Just like literally got under his ribs and folded him really easily. And then I think he got one up on Bateman after, but definitely doesn't have Tino's strength yet. Like, I compared him to Tino more than Payne. But yeah, he looks nice still. Peter Cora looked real good. But yeah, I don't think Broncos will play the best footy till after Origin. I think they're going to hang around 4th to 6th until after Origin, possibly. I think they're going to drop a few games along the way, but I think they're going to come good. They're just, like I said, speed kills. They're familiar with each other now, this core group. Just one thing I'm really worried about is Renault's health. He went down. I know the last one was just cramps or whatever, but I mean, cramping, like we saw, Reece could not walk off the... Like, people go, it's just... Someone said to me, it's just a cramp. I'm like, bro, like, if you cramp up, you can't play. like he had to get carried off the field, bro. Like, yeah, like, cramp is just a cramp. You're fine to play. But if you're getting chronic cramps in middles of games and you have to go off, like, that's still bad. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it might have been... Like, I think Reece said in his post-press conference... Or like his post-interview thing, he said, I might have to have a chat to the dietitian. Maybe they had put something, maybe they are on food that, I don't know, wasn't salty enough. They weren't drinking enough water. I don't know, like whatever it might have been. And they were, because everyone was cramping up. It was crazy. But they weren't little cramps. Like, Reynolds could not walk. Like, Reece could not walk. He's vomiting his guts up. It was nuts. But even before that, Renault went down twice in the first half, just grabbing things and sort of limping into, I'm scared, bro. I'm scared. Because a Jock, solid. Let's say Reynolds goes down tomorrow. And Jock comes in, Ezra Mam comes up. Yeah, again. And let's say they stay relatively healthy throughout the year. You know, maybe Ricky goes down for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? But they stay pretty healthy. I still think they probably finish in the top 4, but they're not winning a comp. He's not that dude. He's not that dude, lads. He's a really good backup player. That's probably 2 or 3 years away from being a real threat sort of thing. Sorry, bros. I've got to get rid of my socks. I'm bloody sweating up a storm in here, lads. Forgot to put the aircon on. But yeah, they're not winning a comp with Jock Madden there and Ezra Mam. Ezra's, yeah, is just not game. Like, I don't see them, like, say they had to go to Melbourne and win a semi-final or go to Penrith and win a semi-final with those two in there. I don't see it. But solid, man. Solid game. They look the goods. Right, let's have a look at some of the Broncos stats, guys. We'll go over them. Reece Walsh. He's like, I saw when Reece was getting his legs stretched out, he's put on some size on his legs, bro. Because I was always sort of a little shocked. I was like, he's a strong little bastard, eh? Like, he never gets thrashed in because he's not a big man. But he's got some wheels on him, eh? Like, he's got some real nice wheels. He's got a nice set of wheels on him, and they were cramping up bad, eh? Like that, I can see how he gets that step so violent, bro. His outside quad sweep's hectic. Reece 185 metres, 2 line break assists, 4 tackle breaks. Jesse Arthur's in it, yeah. This is why I don't like Jesse Arthur's in the centres. He's a little quiet. Like, amount of people are like, oh man, I had Jesse Arthur's in as a try scorer. I'm like, why, bro? He never does anything in the centres. Just defends really well. He's really good at it. Who else was nice? D Mariner, 2 line breaks, which 1 try assist, nice. What Adam Reynolds go? 1 line break assist, 2 try assists. His kicking game is perfect. It is perfect. I've said this before about him. He's been good for a really long time, but I almost feel like his kicking game just gets a little bit better every year. Like his kicking game is somehow better than it was last year. Like he's actually it's insane. Not much better, just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. His kicking game is, wow, he's incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, they got to obviously sort out this. Look, I've just obviously come to the conclusion. Like I was sort of not bagging them. But last year I'm like, they're not going to win a comp. But, you know, they're completing at 72%. And then they got the comp. And look, I guess I was right. They didn't win a comp. They pretty much lost because of a few errors. And Penrith made none. But they got to a grand final playing like that. So I can't knock it too much. So I was right. But I was sort of wrong. I was definitely right. But sort of wrong. All right, the Cows on this one. Now, I got a little bit of heat from this one. People thinking I was ripping the Cows for this one. And I wasn't. I was just a little shocked how everyone was just like, what a great performance from the Cowboys. Was it? Was it, bros? Because Todd Payton, the Cowboys coach, agreed with me on this one. I don't think it was. Like, so what? You got close to Penrith? Like, bro, if you want to be you got to win these games, bro. It doesn't matter if it's Penrith, man. They were missing 3 of their best players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sorensen, Taruva, and Moses Leota. Like, at home. Like, you're on a 2-game skid. I don't care. Like, if it's Penrith. You got to win this, man. Like... And the reason why I'm saying you got to win this, if Penrith went out and blitzed and be like, whatever, but look at this for a second, lads. Like, 84% completion, 45 sets to 38. They had an extra 8 full sets completed. I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but they said it in the coverage. They had like something like, was it 80 more tackles in Penrith's 20 or something? It was insane the amount of ball they had in Penrith's 20. And like, yeah, I just thought they should have iced it. I was just like, I think they should have iced this one. I know it's Penrith. I know their defense is elite, but I just think if they were a genuine top 4 team, even if it is Penrith, and you have that much ball inside the 20, I think you have to ice it. I just think you have to ice it. Now, Cowboy, I said I'm a little worried about the Cowboys, and I am, but I'm not really. I'm not worried about them. I was high on the Cowboys 2 or 3, you know what I mean? Like at the start of the year, I liked their draw. I liked it. I said pretty much if they can sort out their away record and just win half of their away games, make their home a fortress, I think they could finish in the top 4. Very high. And Drinkwater's one of my favourite players. You know what I mean? I love what they're doing. But I was a little... When they won their first, 3 or 4, and they were sitting on top of that, it looked like fool's gold to me. It looked like fool's gold to me, and they have now lost 3 on the skid. They've now gone, and this is the thing since then, right? So they got absolutely. I was at this game. They got handled and looked bad. They beat the Titans. Titans were so bad at that period. Now they lost to Parramatta, which it didn't look that bad at the time, but now we've seen how bad Parramatta have been in that month, and all of a sudden that loss looks very bad. They then got pumped by the Sharks. And then they lost to the Panthers when they had a tremendous amount of ball at home. Even it was their conditions, hot, muggy. Penrith was sweating, dropping the ball way more than they usually do. Penrith, their completion rate was way down. So if you're going to get them, like it's not like Penrith completed at 92% and played perfect. Penrith were bad. So that's why I didn't quite take much away from it. And like I said, Todd Payton agreed with me. He goes, I don't care. We should have won. You know what I mean? I thought... we should have won. Like and I totally agree with him. I think they should have won this game. I had Penrith to win it, but the conditions were bad. The conditions were sweaty, muggy. I don't think Penrith were ready for it. Heaps of errors, and I thought this was one the Cowboys let slip. You know what I mean? And if they did win this one, they would have been sitting real pretty. Cowboys would have been up to 10. They would have been sitting up here in 6th. I don't know what their for and against would have been, but, you know, sitting up around 6th here, looking pretty. Instead, they're sort of down a little bit. But now, look, this is the next month could be the what's it called? Moment of truth, because they have a pretty easy run. They've had they've played some pretty good teams over the past 4 or 5 weeks. Played a couple of bad ones too, but they got a pretty easy draw. They got the Dolphins fully under strength, which is very winnable. They got the Titans again. They got the Rabbitohs again, bottom of the table, and they got the Titans again. They need to win 3 of these. Cowboys, to me, have to win 3 of these. They're going to lose a lot of their team to State of Origin. You know what I mean? They're going to lose. I mean, I doubt it, but possibly Drinkwater. Who knows? We don't know who's going. They're going to lose Dearden. They're going to lose Nanai. They're going to lose Cotter. Not as many players as I thought, but still, that's a few. So they need to get through these, because then they have a few tough games after that. They've got Penrith again in Penrith. They've got a few tough games again. The Broncos upstairs. Yeah, so it gets a little tough for them. So definitely, for me, Cowboys need to win 3 of these next 4. But look, their draw isn't ridiculously bad. It isn't ridiculously bad. They can go on a pretty nice run somewhere in here and make the top 8. But it's just... And this is the thing too, and this is what a lot of people don't realise. People and this is sometimes where I think people write Penrith off a little bit sometimes. What you got to remember, when a team's even when a team's won 1 comp, but let's just say they've won 3 and been in the last 4 grand finals, every single team puts their best foot forward against Penrith. You know what I'm saying? You always do. You're like, oh man, they're defending champs. There's no, Penrith never get taken lightly. So sometimes, that's why sometimes if they are a little off, they can drop a game from time to time. But teams, this is what I'm saying. So, all right, they played pretty good against Penrith, but then we look at their rest. Now do they come into this next game? And this is why I like what Todd Payton said, and why I think he's a really good coach. Now they come in here and go, oh well, we nearly beat Penrith. A few things didn't go away. We could have won that. Oh, it's just the Dolphins with no hammer this weekend, and then Dolphins jump them, and they go, what the hell? All of a sudden they're on a 4-game skid. So I like what Todd Payton's. That's what I like. Todd Payton was like, why? What's there to be proud of? We lost a game of footy. He's like, we lost a game of footy where we had 56% of the ball. So shout out to I love when coaches get into their players a little bit. You want to back them, but you know what I mean. You also sometimes you need tough love. Sometimes you need to be told it wasn't good enough. But yeah, like that. Look, I genuinely, if this was in Brisbane, you never know. It could be a little dicey, but very good at home. The Cowboys, they should get that one. Titans, I mean, looking a little better, but still very winnable. Rabbits away from home, I mean, very winnable. Very winnable. And then that Roosters game might be a little tough away from home, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, pretty solid from the Cowboys. I'm not knocking it. It was a pretty good performance, but I think they should have iced it personally. Yeah, anyway. Dolphins. All right, these last 2 games, guys, I just want to be honest with you. I watched the first half of this. My son's game was on, and I had it on my phone, and I was just sort of, yeah, son. Oh, my multi-phone. So I was sort of doing both. And then I re-watched the mini. So I watched the full second half and watched the mini. I missed my multi in this one, actually. Yeah, so I like that Armstrong kid who filled in for Gagai. He looked nice. Now, this is the thing, man. If people remember last year, so they tried to play Ponga in the 6th position. He got knocked out 3 times. And they looked horrendous. They looked gone. People give Ponga a lot of the praise for how the season ended. Deservedly. He was incredible. But one thing a lot of people I don't think gave Knights credit for, they actually started to look really good without him. They're playing as a team. Like before, it was sort of like under 6s, give it to the best player and let him go to work. They actually started playing some pretty nice footy before that. They weren't going on a big win streak or anything, but they were looking good, looking like a team, a good team, sort of like the Dolphins are. Like Dolphins in the last 2 or 3 weeks haven't had superstars on. Just look like a good footy team. And then you throw Ponga in on top of that. There you go. There's your cherry on top of your sundae. So, like I said, people were saying, I'm writing the Knights off. And I always say, when I'm about to write off a team, I give them 1 week to convince me otherwise. And look, they weren't perfect, but they ground out a win against a team that's playing pretty good footy. So I'm not writing the Knights off yet. I don't know what their draw looks like. We'll have a look. But if they can, like I said, there's in the next 8 games, which is probably get them through to the other side of Origin. If in the next 8 games, if they can jag 4, and then Ponga comes back a week or 2 after that, they're right in the hunt there, you know. So yeah, I'm not writing them off yet. I thought Gamble looked pretty good. Jackson Hastings was decent. Leo Thompson was good. I'm not too sure how they're going to play Phoenix Crossland. Like I said, I only watched it sort of half, and I watched the KO Mini. But yeah, so I love Max Plath, man. I love the small lock. He's a little bit of a Ruben Cotter 2.0. Ewan Aiken was good. Kenny got knocked out. And I'm loving Katoa. Katoa is looking better and better and better. It's actually scary. Hopefully play. No, actually wouldn't. 81% to 88% completion. That's great from the Knights. This is what happened with, like, when Ponga was playing, they were completing low, missing up. It's almost like that having Ponga there as a safety net. When you know you don't have that, sometimes you just play better as a team. And like I said, I didn't watch this from start to finish. Maybe they didn't. Maybe my eyes were deceiving me, lads. And if I'm way off here, just let me know in the comments. But to me, it just looked a little bit more in sync. You know what I mean? So, what else we got? I mean, they led a lot of meters through. They actually lost the ruck, but it looked like, from what I saw, Dolphins bombed a few tries at the end as well. But yeah, so it looked pretty nuts. Let's have a look at some individual stats. I love Fuller, man. I love watching him play. 240 run meters, 66 post contact, 3 line breaks, 1 line break assist. God damn, son, settle down. You're meant to be a grade player, bro. You're putting everyone to shame. Who else we got? Sarko had a pretty solid game. Yeah, I just look at this team. There's not a single player you'd even think about playing rep footy. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a player here I'd consider for rep footy. Oh, well, just Kiwis, Jermaine Asako, obviously, but Katoa will be. He's on the cards. But you get what I'm saying. Like, State of Origin's coming up. Would you pick anyone here? Nah. But they're sitting... What are they sitting? 6th. You know what I mean? Ahead of the Roosters, ahead of the Cowboys, ahead of the Warriors, ahead of Parramatta. It's nuts, bro. Crazy, man. They're doing their thing, man. Shout out to them. So, completion rate 81%. Ran for 1,800. Won the ruck. What are their missed tackles like? 46. That's a little high. In fact, only at 5 ineffective tackles. That's pretty nice. Yeah, 15 errors. That'll do it. That's a ball game. Sharkies get it done. Tries McInnes, Tom Hazelton, Katoa. We hit Katoa in this one. It was nice. Nakora, Hines, Senior Katoa, Jesse Raymond. Hines, 6 from 7. I had Nico Hines as my super coach captain. I think he got me 350 or something like that. Where was it? Yeah, 300 and... Where was it? Oh, why does stuff load slow when you're trying to do something fast? Whatever. Tell me this, lads. 1 through 17. Is this the most balanced team in the comp? Is this the most... I think it might... 314 points from Nico Hines and Supercoach. God damn! Is this the most balanced team in the comp? Like, Will Kennedy, Katoa, Raymond, Oro, Mulatalo. Just pretend Trindle's there. Nico Hines, Hazelton, Brayley, Oregon Kafusi, Nakora, Teague, Wilton, McKinney. It's just so well balanced, man. You got Jack Williams comes on, good leg speed. Oh, you got Ueli, Sifa. I'm actually loving when I was like, why are you putting this Oro dude on there? I actually like Sifa coming in through the middle. He looks real good. Yeah, it's scary. I think we might have slept on the Sharks. We'll get to that in a minute. I made a note because I've been thinking who Penrith could target to replace James Fisher-Harris. And I noticed 2 dudes in this team because everyone's like, oh, Stefano or this. They keep suggesting these big, slow props. I'm like, Penrith are about speed. This dude here, this Tapua, and Trey Mooney. If I was Penrith, I'll be looking at these dudes. You'll get them on unders. Even that built fast, not many games in them yet. So Liam Henry would probably go to starting, and then you put one of these dudes on the bench, blood him up real nice. But this kid here he's fast, he's unstoppable, he bends the line, his line speed's hectic. This dude not too far off either, big, strong, real nice frame on him. I think these two you'd get him on. There's like, if I was pitching, I'd go to this kid here and be like, hey bro, do you want to come out to Penrith, win premierships, play finals, play rep footy? You're going to earn yourself extra money. Your value's going to double, or do you want to stay in Canberra? And I'm not dissing Canberra here, but this would be my maybe make finals. You know, you're not going to get picked for rep teams. You're not going to blah, 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 blah. Easy pitch, man. I don't know what either one of these guys' contract situations are, but I looked at both these guys and I was like, these two are perfect for Penrith. Perfect. They're built for the Penrith system, because everyone keeps throwing just like big names up, like Stefano or like Xavier. I'm like, Xavier would not play good at Penrith. He's big and like, no, I'm not saying slow, but he's not a line speed fast prop. This kid here is fast. He's fast. Like, I'd almost tell this kid to lose weight if he came to Penrith. But if Penrith get one of these two, I think you could be in trouble. Just quietly on that, I just want to, I love fish. I've been glazing fish for the last 4 years. Like, I've been the one saying Payne is not the best prop in the comp. This kid is, for the last 4 years. In the last 2 weeks since he signed to the Warriors, I've never seen him play worse. I know he scored try in that, but like, I'm not saying he's played bad, but it just was not very fish-like. Hey, running up to the line, sort of turning side, like no ferocious running. Line speed looked a little slower than normal. I saw him not get into marker 2 or 3 times. He just sort of stood back and let them play the ball. I was like, whoa, that's very unfish. Yeah, I hope he's okay. Maybe he's got something going on in his life, but yeah, just one thing I know. It's like I'd never seen him play bad, and he wasn't bad. We're talking he had a 6 out of 10. It's a pass mark, but definitely not the solid 8.5, 9 out of 10 we're used to. But yeah, I'll be going up if I was Penrith. I'll be going after these two for sure. All right. From 1 to 17, lads, I think this is like speed on the outside, power on the outside. It's the new hybrid fullback that goes on now. Nicho Hines just doing his thing. Tom Hazelton's become one of the... You'd almost put him in the top 10 props. If you put him in the top 10, he's 10th. But I love the way he tries to run through the line. So many props now hit and fall. Like, people... They act like they're trying to get through the line. They're not. They're trying to get to the front for a fast play of the ball. Hazelton tries to run through the line every time. I love it. Oregon Kafusi, he looks incredible. Uele coming off the bench, Jack Williams. I love, like I said, 1 through... Like for example, the Broncos, right? I love the Broncos. Like, they're going really good. Look at their team list. But like, I can see that there's flaws. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's Corey Oates. I mean, he's going to give you errors. I mean, let's even just pretend Ezra Mann's there. I'm like, oh yeah, like Billy Walters, he's okay. Corey Jensen, I mean, he's there just to fill. He's definitely not a damaging prop. You know, like Jordan Ricky, you know, his best assets probably is kick chase. He's not like a gun. He's pretty good. Tyson Smoothie, Fletcher Baker, absolute dud. But they've got so many guns in between those guys that it sort of doesn't matter. I'm talking 1 through 17. I just don't see a single weakness. Every single player is very, very good. It's nuts. Like, I dare say 1 through 17, I think Sharks have the best roster. Doesn't mean they're going to win. And this is what I'm saying. They don't have quite as many guns as the gun teams. Like, they're out superstarred, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the other big 3 or 4 teams have bigger superstars, but just like I'm talking about balance 1 through 17, there's not many rosters better, man. This is a very good roster. It is absolutely nuts. Yeah, so this game here, guys, I watched the first half on my phone at my kids' footy, and then I watched the full half properly. Nicho Hynes is just going to a new level, eh? Nicho Hynes is just... We put Katoa here because I was like, with this Atkin dude's coming in, Nicho Hynes is going to get more ball on the right, and he did. He ended up getting 2 tries. I wish I put him in for 2 or more, but we just had the 1. But like I said, just Katoa, Raymond, Oro, Mulata, they're just so stacked. The thing I like most about what Nico's done this year, a lot of people were saying, how's Nico on top of the Dally M's after 3 or 4 rounds? He's barely done anything. Nicho Hynes' defense has gotten so much better. Like, I wrote Nico off for Origin Australia. Like, his defense, he was getting monstered in rep games. And I know he got thrown in the deep end in bad positions and all that sort of stuff, but I've just been like, look, he just might be that guy who's just really good at club. He's not a rep player. He's deep. Like, dare I say, he sometimes wins the contact against second rows now. Like, he's come so good, man. He's come so good. But yeah, I'm loving this roster, man. I'm absolutely loving it. Sharkies, like I said, let's have a look at Sharkies because they've got a pretty... Sharkies... Now, okay, so this is what they're missing for me. So look at all their wins. All right, sweet. So they beat the Warriors. They haven't beaten any good teams yet. Okay, so this is why I'm not glazing them properly yet. They've got a tough month coming up, right? So they've got the Dragons, which they should win. They've got the Storm, Roosters, Penrith back to back to back. This is going to be the test, this right here. If they go 3-0, not only are they a top, they could be a top 4 team this year. They're a proper threat. If they go 2 from 3, we're probably going, not bad. Like they look like they could compete this year. Like I think they've got over that. They can't beat top 8 teams anymore. I think they're a problem. If they go 1 from 3, I'm sort of going, might be old Sharks. You know what I mean? They played 3 top 8 teams in a row, only won 1. You know what I'm saying? Because let's just say that was their finals. Let's say they made the 8 and they lost to the Storm. And then let's say they had to then go down and play the Roosters. You know what I mean? If they lose that, they're out. Or let's say they win that and then they go and play Penrith in the semi and then they're out. So this is how the finals could look for the Sharks, if you get what I'm saying. You have to beat 3 top 8 teams in a row or possibly 4. So this is what their finals could look like. That's why I love when contending teams have to play 3 sort of top 4, top 8 teams in a row, because you get a pretty good idea of if they can win the comp or not. Because, like I said, if they go 1 and 3 here, you're sort of like, I don't think they can win the comp. They couldn't beat 3 top 4 teams in a row. I mean, not in a row, but they couldn't, you know what I mean? They only won 1 of 3. That'll knock you out of the finals. If they win 2, you're like, that might be good enough. If they win 3, this could literally be them winning the comp. Like, these teams could finish 2nd and 3rd. They could play, and then they could end up facing Sydney in the semi. They could win that, and then if they win that, that's the grand final. So you get what I'm saying? So this could literally tell us a lot about the Sharkies right here, whether they can win the comp or not. So I'm going to be watching this like a hawk, guys. See how we go. But yeah, look, to me they look pretty damn legit. They look better than they did last year. Look, Milk it just goes to show how good Fogarty actually was for this team. Most improved half by a mile. His kicking game was extraordinary, and I just think they're going to win games this year, but until they get him back, I just see them getting beaten by the top 8 teams quite handily. And them jagging wins here and there off maybe the bottom of teams, maybe winning a few more than they lose or something. So I don't know what their draw looks like, but I'm sure it's okay. But yeah, that's sort of where the Canterbury team look for me. Tomoko by far their best player. 85% completion, brilliant. And they ran for 2 kilometres, 9 line breaks to 2, absolutely cooked them. 47 run meters, damn. 14 offloads. These are 100% defusals, 89%. Only missed 23 tackles, 3 intercepts. Nicho Hynes got 2 or 3 of those, I think. Absolutely nuts. It was good to see Nicoll looking sharp too as well, guys. Conceded 7 penalties. That's a bit too high, but all right, what do you do? All right, guys, that's it for that. Let's just have a look, have a look at and preview next week's games real quick. All right, Bunnies versus Panthers. Well, this is it. If Bunnies lose this, they're done. Like they can't come back. I don't think they can anyway, but... Sea Eagles versus the Raiders. Wow. Broncos versus Roosters on Friday night. How good is that going to be? Dogs versus the Cats. Doggies coming off a bye. That's interesting. Titans versus Storm. Poor old Titans, man. That's going to be tough. And this is a big one for the Cowboys, like we mentioned in our preview. Like they've got to get a dub here. They've lost 3 in the trot. They cannot lose this game. They're lucky they're playing at home. Knights versus the Warriors. Warriors need a dub as well. Warriors can't slip. Like if they lose another game here, you know, all of a sudden they might be in 13th, 14th, and we're 9 rounds in. Again, though, I don't think Warriors will play their best footy until around Origin time either. And then Sharkies versus the Dragons. Parramatta getting a much-needed bye. Wow, okay, that's going to be exciting. It's going to be a good round of footy, and we're getting close to Origin, lads. Let's go. All right, that's it, lads. We're done. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.